All right, everybody, let's do this. Welcome to the official REDX Live Prospecting Show. I'm your host today, Andrew Swenson, filling in for Justin Zimmerman this morning. And joining us today is Heather Brown, an amazing real estate agent from right here in Utah, who's going to share her story, her mindset, some of her strategies and scripts. And then we'll jump on the phone to learn a thing or two about prospecting, listen to some of her calls. How are you doing today, Heather?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. We're excited to have you. Thanks again for so much for joining us today. Before we get started, I want to let the audience know that this is an amazing opportunity for anyone who's considering REDX to kind of get a grasp on the expectations and the expertise from people like Heather who actually use REDX. So if you're already using it, this is going to give you a deeper insight to get more out of your prospecting. And if you're not using REDX or considering it, we're happy to have you here anyway. We hope you enjoy the show. So let's get into it. Heather, I want you to start by kind of sharing with us maybe your real estate journey so far. Like how long have you been in real estate? How long have you been prospecting? And what kind of success have you found so far?
Yeah, so I've been in real estate for about a year and a half, and I started prospecting from day one. When I learned about real estate, I also learned that prospecting was a huge part of it. So I feel like I was lucky in that sense of, okay, if you're going into real estate, you kind of need to expect to prospect. And with me, I had never cold called before. I have never been a fan of talking on the phone or anything like that. So I was so intimidated by prospecting, but I talked to a lot of top level agents, top producing agents, and their success has come from prospecting. So I was like, okay, if I want to do this, I just need to get over my fear and I just need to prospect. So my first day in the office, I was going to call expireds because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to jump into it and do expireds. I've heard expireds are scary. I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to start with the hardest one. Nice. So I have my scripts, and I have my script book that I use, and I just had my scripts up, and I called through expireds, and I am sure I sounded awful because I had never done it before, and I was just reading straight from my script. And I got an appointment, and it was for $500,000. And I was like, okay, this works, I guess. So I went on the appointment, and I took the listing, and we went under contract on the listing a week later. And so for me, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's prospecting. You just have to get on the phone and dial. It doesn't matter if you sound bad. It doesn't matter if you sound scripted, just do it. If you do it, you're going to see success. And then after that, I mean, prospecting, it's still hard. It's not easy to just like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get on the phone for 3 hours a day and call people. But once you hit dial, it's easy. Dialing is the hardest part. So it's worth it, and it's good, and it's hard, but it gets easier, I guess, the more you do it once you hit dial. If that makes sense.
Well, that's kind of an incredible story. So you've been prospecting essentially since day one, right? Like
yes.
Your first day in real estate. And did you feel with that first call where you got that first appointment, did you feel robotic? And I mean, you said you were uneasy, but I'm sure it was just super.
No, I felt robotic. I mean, I had my scripts, and he gave me an objection, and I was like, oh no, where's my objection script? And I like pulled that out and was trying to find it. And so, I mean, I know I didn't sound great, but I was doing it. And so, I mean, it's all about doing it. Don't stress out about, oh my gosh, am I going to sound bad? Who cares? Just do it.
Right. And had you done any any script role playing or had any formal real estate training other than, you getting your license and meeting a few people?
So we hired a coach. But I had never, at that point when I went into the office, I had never done any role playing. And we just got our coach. So, I mean, I hadn't had any coaching really. So it was all so new to me, and it was just kind of thrown at me and just, okay, I'm just going to read the script and dial numbers.
You just jumped right in. That's awesome. How long ago was that?
That was in July of 2018. Yeah.
That's incredible. So less than a year. You've been in real estate for less than a year. Is that right?
No, it's been, so July 2018, so it's been over a year, just over a year.
Okay, just over a year. Gotcha. Well, that's incredible. I want to jump into maybe a little bit of information about your schedule. How do you kind of structure your prospecting? What times of the day do you prospect? How do you kind of balance that with your listing appointments and all the other stuff you got to do?
So I am very much the type of person who I just want to get in and get things done. I don't like waiting till the afternoon to finish something. I'd rather just do it. And so I like to prospect in the morning. From 9 to 11:30 is realistic. I mean, my schedule is 8 to 11:30, but it's typically 9 to 11:30 once I have everything rolling and in the heat of the prospecting. But I was so focused before on getting contacts, just like, okay, I need to get all these contacts, and not as focused on getting appointments. And so my mindset has changed now, where I'm not as worried about contacts as I am about just trying to get appointments throughout the day. So
Sure,
we
just
have
getting in front of people and getting those conversations going.
right. So 9 to 11:30, I would say, is when I'm on the phone. My husband and I, we do real estate together. He's actually been on your live.
Yeah, Ken was our very first live prospector ever. I wanted to mention that.
Yeah. So we prospect, and he's more 8 to 11:30. He's really good about doing 8 to 11:30. So both of us prospecting in the morning, and then we leave open our afternoons for appointments and schedule.
Okay.
If we don't have appointments, then yeah, we can get back on the phone and prospect. But typically I like to schedule prospecting just for the morning.
Cool. And do you do any door knocking or neighborhood area prospecting, or are you mostly just on the phone there?
No, so we'll also go and door knock. If we do an open house, what we'll do is we'll call around the listing, and then we'll go door knock around the listing and invite people to an open house. And then, so we do both. We like to hit the people. That doesn't sound right. We like to make as much contact with the neighbors as we can, because, I mean, statistics show it's more likely that your neighbors are going to have buyers for your home than just off the MLS. So we like to hit the neighbors as much as we can, contact them, so to see if they know of anyone who wants to move into their neighborhood. So we'll door knock, cold call that area.
Very cool. Right on. Well, since, you're a relatively new agent, just over a year here, do you have any advice or any, words of wisdom there for other new agents who are just getting into it, who, that might benefit them?
Yeah. So again, it's prospecting scary. Calling people, cold calling people, it may seem scary, but you'll see results if you stay consistent with it. So I mean, I know a lot of people who they're like, okay, I'm going to prospect, and then they do it once and they're just like, oh, I don't like that, so I don't want to do it again. And then they have a bad taste in their mouth for prospecting, but they didn't give it a chance. So it's something, I mean, yeah, I got an appointment my first day that turned into a listing, but that's not how every day of my prospecting goes. I don't get appointments every single day I prospect that turn into listings. So it's a numbers game. You have to keep up. You have to keep doing it. And honestly, just get in and dial. Don't think about it. Just dial, and then it's that first call that's the worst. After that, it's okay. And
so is that where you say the most fear comes? Is that first call of every day, or now that you've gotten into it, would you say it gets a little bit easier every time?
No, every day. I mean, it's fear mixed with just like, okay, am I ready to be on the phones? And honestly, for me, it's every day. It's like, okay, just hit dial. So if I just go into the office and just hit dial, then I'm good. But if I sit there and think about it and try to come up with excuses, then it just makes prospecting so hard. So you just have to go in and just dial and go for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I think that's what agents need to hear, is that it's all about just that first call. We hear that all the time, is that as long as you can get that first call out of the way, everything after that, if you just kind of get into a good momentum and you get going, and then once it's part of your routine, it becomes a lot easier, and it's easier to overcome that fear once you get there. Well, great, Heather. Thanks for sharing all that with us. Next, I want to do kind of a little script role play, so that we can kind of get a really good, solid example of your script, of what who or what lead type, and can you tell us who you'll be prospecting to today, who you'll be calling?
Yeah. So we just got this listing last night. They signed papers last night. And so we haven't put it up on the MLS yet. And this is actually when I like to call around the neighborhood is before we put it up on the MLS. Just because when I call the neighbors and I just say, hey, we want to let you know before it hits the market to see if you have any family or friends who want to move into this neighborhood. That way they feel more important. Like, oh, we get first pick. We can, it makes them feel more important. So I like to do that as soon as we get the contract. I like to call around the listing just to let them know it's going to be on the market. But before, do you know anyone who wants to move in? And a quick background on this listing that we took. So this one is a canceled. It had been on the market about 5 months, and this client, he's really anxious to get it sold because it's vacant. He's in a different state right now, and he just wants it sold. So for me, when I think about doing GLE prospecting and circle prospecting, I think about, okay, I'm trying to get his home sold for him as fast as I can because he needs it sold. So I'm calling these people because I want to get his home sold for him. And so it's kind of helps me when I prospect, like, this is my job to get his home sold, and he's anxious to do it. So I am going to call as many people as I can to let them know about this home. And it makes it easy to call.
Yeah, so that sense of urgency kind of gives you some motivation and some drive to get that going. Excellent. Well, let's do a little role play call here between me and you. I'll start us off, and then after that, we'll jump on the phone and have you take some calls.
Okay.
Okay, so ring, 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 ring. Hello?
Hi, good morning. This is Heather with Summit Realty. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for asking. So, hey, I'm just calling around the neighborhood. Your neighbor, the Mejias, they are just listing their home this weekend, and I wanted to reach out to the neighbors before it hits the market to see if you have any family or friends who might be interested in moving into this neighborhood.
You know, off the top of my head, I don't. I know my brother's looking to move, but they haven't decided yet. You might want to try the Johnsons down the street. I know that they were looking around recently to get their house going, maybe move around the neighborhood. But yeah, for me, not right now. Sorry.
Okay, the Johnsons. Do you by chance have their information?
Yeah, I do. I can email that to you if I can get your email address.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. My email address is
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so what about you? What are your real estate needs at this time?
Well, you know, we just moved here and are just settling into the neighborhood. We've, love the neighborhood. Have just starting up my family here. Started a new job, so we're actually pretty new. But yeah, if anything comes up, or if I have any friends or family that are looking to move in, I'll be sure to let you know.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, it's a great neighborhood. And hey, can you do a favor for me?
Yeah.
If you hear of anyone who's looking to move into this great neighborhood, if you can just send them over our way, that would be wonderful.
Okay, sounds good. Will do. Thanks, Heather.
Excellent. Thank you. You have a good day.
Hey, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Excellent. Well, that seems pretty straightforward. That seems like a nice, simple script. You just ask about, their needs, their friends and family needs. I think that's a great way to do it. It's a good approach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you have a lot of success with that?
Yeah, so Kent and I, we will actually double end about 60% of our listings, because we just try to talk to everyone. And so, I mean, this call, I'm not pushing, yeah, I want the appointment, but I'm not going to push them and close them on an appointment because, I mean, it's a different lead type than an expired. These people aren't motivated to move. They're not looking to move. So what I'm doing is I am seeing if they have any interest in any real estate needs, if they have any real estate needs at this time. If they don't, then I just ask friends or family, because really I'm trying to find a buyer for our listing. But if they know of anyone who's looking to sell, then maybe a reference. But again, I'm not trying to close them on an appointment as hard as I would on an expired, which is why you are an easier lead type to call, because I feel like it's not as pushy of a script.
Right, kind of a little bit less friction there, and usually probably people aren't expecting your call, and probably some less angry contacts there. Excellent, Heather. Well, let's go ahead and have you jump on the phone if you're ready to do that.
I am ready to do it.
All right. We'll let you dial, and after each call, if you think you have a minute, we can break down the call, but we'll just let you run with it.
Okay.
You've reached Jeremy King. Please leave a message.
Hello? Hi, good morning. My name's Heather with Summit Realty. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, I just wanted to reach out. My husband and I are listing a home in your neighborhood, the Mejias, over on Eagle Crest Way. We wanted to reach out to the neighbors first and just see if you know of anyone who may be interested in moving into the neighborhood. Any family or friends?
Where's this at?
It's over in Eagle Mountain on Eagle Crest Way.
Oh, okay. Um,
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. What about you? What are your real estate needs at this time?
I have actually,
Oh, excellent. So, hey,
uh,
do you have any buyers who are looking in the Eagle Mountain?
what's
So it's a 3 bedroom, 3 bath home. It's just over 4,000 square feet, and it's listed at 339.9. 3 bed, 3 bath, and then just over.
three full baths or 4,000 feet?
Uh-huh. No, the basement is not finished. No. Yeah, but it's in a great location. Yeah, 339, and we're gonna put it up on the market this weekend, so it hasn't hit the market yet. So if you have any clients who are looking in that price range in that area, I mean, I'd love to get them in as soon as we can.
Well, yeah, let me,
We're gonna do an open house next week, so not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. Let me do this. Let me text over just the listing information that I have, and I can text over photos. And then yeah, and then if your client's interested, let's get them in as soon as we can.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
awesome.
remind me of your name again. Okay, how do you spell your last name? Wonderful. And do you have any listings at this time as well? Because I mean, I could send. I'm working with buyers as well. Okay.
But, it's on an acre.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna look that Mapleton one up. That's a great listing. The 825
Yeah,
one.
so I am representing the seller, but I also have a buyer who,
Oh, okay.
so, and I haven't even, stopped the site.
Mhm. Hey, good for you. That's
So
great.
yeah, it's not,
Oh, okay.
but I can, once we activate it,
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna send over my contact information to you with the listing information that I have on my Eagle Mountain listing. And then, yeah, I mean, if you have any listings coming up, I'd love to hear about them.
okay.
Hey, thank you so much for taking my
Tell me your
call.
name again.
I'm Heather Brown, and I'm with Summit Realty. Good talking to you. Thanks so much for taking my call. Bye. Okay, bye. Okay.
Heather, is it possible to pause your dialer there for half a minute? We could talk about that call.
Yeah, it's paused.
Okay, wonderful. So was he, we couldn't hear everything he was saying, but was he a realtor as well?
Yeah, so he is an agent, and I like getting agents when I do
Mhm.
geocall. It's because they have buyers. And so he said he has a buyer who's looking in that area in Eagle Mountain. So I'm going to go ahead and I got his information. I'm going to send over all of the information that I have on the listing and try to get them in as soon as possible. And then I just got any listings that he has just to see if I have any buyers who are interested in his and just try to kind of create a networking thing with other agents. That way, if I put an offer in on their home, they like me, then we can make something happen.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That seemed like that was a really, really smooth call for you. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Sweet. Well, let's jump into another. If you don't mind, if it's, if you can still hear, okay, would you mind putting your phone kind of next to your computer there?
Yeah, I
so
just
that
moved
I can
it.
pick up a little bit?
I'm sorry. It's a habit for me to walk around, so I just grabbed my phone. But I'll keep it by my computer.
That's all right. We appreciate it.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. My name's Heather with Summit Realty. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, I'm just calling around the neighborhood. My husband and I are putting a listing up this weekend for your neighbors, the Mejias, over on Eagle Crest Way. Their house is 3 bedroom, 3 bath home, 4,000 square feet, and we're listing it at 339. So I wanted to reach out to the neighbors first and just see if you have any family or friends who may be interested in moving into this neighborhood.
No, I don't at this time.
Not a problem. What about you? What are your real estate needs?
Oh, I'm good where I'm at.
You're good. Hey, it's a great neighborhood
Yeah.
and area. I don't blame you. Excellent. Well, hey, can you do me a
Yeah.
favor? If you hear of anyone who's looking to move over by you guys, if you can send them over our way. Okay. Yep. Fine. Hey, we get hung up on as real estate agents, and you just gotta go. Gotta move on.
Right. You got to just keep trucking, right? That's name of the game.
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
seem too angry or anything though. He stayed on the line for a minute there and was nice and honest, and
Yeah.
that's great.
No, and sometimes my husband and I will have a competition and we'll use scripts and we play a game on who can get through the most questions in a script and before getting hung up on. So sometimes we just kind of play with it and just like, okay, I'm going to see how long I can keep people on the phone before they hang up on me. So really, it's not a big deal to get hung up on. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fun though. That's a fun way to kind of make it into a cool game and a little friendly competition going. I like it.
Yeah. And another thing, so I switched up the script a little bit on this one. I kind of play around with what I want to say, just to see what's working. So, I mean, I didn't switch it up a lot. I just gave him more information just to see if that would make any difference. So, I mean, play around, enjoy it, have fun. It's fine.
Cool. Fun.
Hello? So with Geo Leads, I feel like it's a little bit longer in between calls, just because again, I mean, it's a different lead type, and I only keep my dialer or my ring to be only three rings before I'm done.
Gotcha.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. My name's Heather with Summit Realty. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for asking. Hey, I'm just calling around the neighbors. My husband and I are listing a home in your neighborhood, the Mejias, over on Eagle Crest Way. And I wanted to reach out to the neighbors first just to see if you know of anyone who may be interested in moving into your area. Any friends or family? No, not at this time. Okay, not a problem at all. What about you? What are your real estate needs?
None. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day. He hung up. So
Yeah, that's all right.
it's fine. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's great. You're making connections. That first call was fantastic too. That was
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good start. But again, I think sometimes agents go into prospecting thinking that,
You have reached the voicemail box of
thinking that they're going to be getting everyone interested and making appointments on every single call. But realistically, I mean, it's not that way. That's why you have to keep up at it. And
It's that numbers game you talked about earlier. It's just you gotta keep at it, and the more you call, the more you'll make.
Yep, exactly. It's all about talking to people.
Right. On an average prospecting session, how many people do you think you make as solid contacts in a day? Or what do you consider a contact?
A contact. So we have a coach, and she said a contact is if they know who you are and if you have a conversation about real estate and whether they're interested or not.
Nice.
So, yeah. So if I am calling and I say, hey, this is Heather with Summit Realty, and starting my script, and they hang up because
you have reached the voicemail box of
because they know that I am a real estate agent and my name, and they hang up, then that can count as a contact because they're not interested. So, but
at least you got your name out there. At least they know who you are and that you're working the neighborhood and
Yeah, exactly. They know I'm a real estate agent. They know my name, and they hang up, so that means they're not interested. So, but some agents, they won't count a contact unless they have a conversation with the person. So,
Right.
I mean, it just depends. I think, yeah, it just depends on what you want to consider contact. But I mean, I try to do at least 30 contacts a day.
Hello?
Hi, good morning. My name's Heather with Summit Realty. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Hey, I am just giving you a quick call. My husband and I are listing your neighbor's home, the Mejias, over on Eagle Crest Way this weekend. And I wanted to reach out to the neighbors first and see if you know of any family or friends who may be interested in moving into the area. No, not at this time. Okay, not a problem at all. What about you? What real estate needs do you have at this time?
We don't know any. We're good.
Okay, you're good. Well, hey, if you hear of anyone who's wanting to move into the area, if you can just send them over our way, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
So that right there, you consider a contact, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yes. Okay, so I have this other script that
Okay.
I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to try to get through as many questions as I can before they hang up.
Excellent.
So then you can kind of see what Kent and I will do sometimes as far as, okay, let's see how long we can keep them on the phone. Oh, this is
Sweet.
an agent that I'm calling, so if they answer,
That's
it might be.
good.
And the nice thing too is when Kent and I go door knock this area, then they've heard my voice before. And so,
Right.
hello? Hello? Can you hear me? So then, yeah, they've heard my voice and then they're going to see my face. And so we just want to, again, just try to get as much contact with these people as we can.
Right. And that's why I like kind of your definition of contact there is, you know, that's going to resonate when you show up on their doorstep. They're going to go, oh yeah, this is the lady that called me the other day, and I do know who she is. So that is, you know, a good contact. You don't have to have a good long conversation to establish that it's there.
Right, right. And we let our clients know when we take a listing, we say, hey, look, we're going to be calling your neighbors. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? But yeah, we just let them know. We say, look, we're going to be calling your neighbors and we're going to be door knocking. So if they tell you that your agent's been coming around, I mean, just expect that that's what we're going to do because we want to get your home sold. So we kind of let them just so you know, we're going to be talking to your neighbors and everything. So.
And do they let their neighbors know, or do they do some of that word of mouth for you too sometimes?
No, not really. They're just like, oh, okay,
Sorry,
that's fine.
but the person you called has a voicemail box.
And do you have any like marketing materials or anything that if no one answers the door, if they're not home, that you leave with them?
With you touchy real estate.
Yeah, we'll make flyers and we go put a flyer around and then we'll hand deliver flyers to the neighbors.
Nice.
So yeah, so that way when we go to their door, we're gonna hand them a flyer and our card, and so they have something in their hand. They've talked to us on the phone and they've seen our face. Right. So they're gonna know us by the end of this home being sold.
Yeah, that's perfect. And
whether we have to or not.
and what kind of a radius do you do over a neighborhood, like the nearest, you know, how many dozens or hundreds of homes?
So right now I have a 200 200 neighbors in this
Okay.
radius. And then, but typically we'll expand to 500.
Okay.
So, and I think my husband just opened my account because it kicked me off.
Oh, no worries.
So let me get back in real quick. But I mean, yeah, for sure 200, but again, we like to go out to 500.
Right.
Sorry, I don't know what.
Oh, you're good. Let me know if you have troubles getting back on, and we can wrap things up if we need to.
Okay, it said someone logged into my account, and my husband knows my account. So we're gonna blame it on him for.
That's all right. We're blaming it on Kent Brown from the First Live Prospecting. So I'm just kidding.
Come on. Okay, let's see if it will back in. He's probably checking on see if I have any appointments because we're very competitive that way. And if I have an appointment, then I have to get one. And so honestly, I mean, that's for some people, if you're competitive, find someone in your office who prospects and just play games, have competition, see who can get through the script without being hung up on, and yeah, just make it fun. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me dial. Okay.
Back in. I messaged Kent. It was totally his fault.
Was it? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Are you kidding me? Come on, Kent.
That's extreme competition is what that is. He's trying.
He knows that I was doing a Facebook Live and was like, ooh, I'm just going to make it, sabotage it.
He knows that yours is going to be better than his was, so.
I know. Things people do to win.
Do you have any other circles of real estate agents or friends or people, other people in your business that you do the same thing with?
So yeah, we work in such an incredible office. We are so lucky for the brokerage that we have, and so everyone will prospect in our office at the same time, and our offices are all close to each other,
Right.
so we can hear each other prospecting, and it's fun. I mean, there's, gosh, how many of us are there? 3, 4, 5, 6 of us prospecting at the same time. And so if we hear someone get an appointment, it's like, oh man, okay, we got to get an appointment. So it's just fun. It's a good environment to be in because everyone's prospecting, which it's really great.
And it's great that you have that, you have your brokerage for the competition, but then you can really keep that going even when you're out of the office with you and your husband. That's fun.
Yeah, it's great. And that's the thing, just real estate, yeah, you're prospecting, but it's also just talking to everyone about real estate too, so outside of the office, just having that conversation. Okay, let me see. I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry that
that's all right.
Changed everything when he logged in. So I don't know how much longer you want me to be prospecting.
Well, try to get back in, and if you can't, no worries. We can wrap things up whenever you're ready.
Okay. Okay.
And that very first call you had, would you consider that an appointment? I mean, I know you didn't set a formal appointment, but what would you consider that? Because it felt like more than a contact. Because you're gonna stay in touch, or is that just kind of you just kind of file that away as a better contact?
Yeah, I wouldn't count it as an appointment because I didn't set a time or something like that with him, and so I would just count that as a good contact because I'm going to send him over my information. We'll exchange our information, He's going to send me over some of his listings that haven't hit the market yet. So that's why I like talking to agents when I'm prospecting, because then if they have stuff that hasn't hit the market that they're willing to send me, and we can make something happen before it hits the market, I mean, that's ideal. So you're not dealing with bidding wars or anything like that. So
right, more of a networking kind of sphere of influence
exactly.
contact there than anything else. That's awesome.
Yes. Okay, let me see. Okay. Well, Kent, if you're watching this, you're in trouble.
I already yelled at him. Don't worry.
Okay, good. Okay.
I'm getting back in.
Yeah, I'm getting back in, but I don't know what he did because
You know what? That's all right. If it's giving you a hard time, we can go ahead and wrap things up. By my count, you got at least 6 or 7 solid contacts, and you were only calling for what, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes?
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Heather. That was a great show. Those are some great calls. I want to just shout out to our audience and let them know to remind them to check out our blog, theredx.com/blog. You can subscribe to our newsletter there and head on over to theredx.com/live-prospecting. You'll see other sessions just like this. We'll put Heather's up there as well, so you can rewatch that later, and check out past sessions too. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're already a REDX customer, be sure to check out the REDX forum for great advice. Is there anything else that you wanted to fill us in on, or anything else you wanted to say there, Heather? Or good?
Just go out and do it. I mean, you watch me do it. It's not scary once you do it. And if people are mean, move on. But it's going to bring you business. And mine and my husband's business REDX is what has made our business. So it's worth the prospecting. It's worth making the calls. Just do it. And I promise if you stick with it, you'll see results.
Excellent. Well, we couldn't ask for better advice. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Heather. Thank you again. And we'll see you all next time.